Hello, this is Roland. Today I want to make another video in the series of lectures entitled Fundamental Christianity. And I'm going to do what I always do. Turn the microphone on and start talking. Because then, if something good comes, it'll flow out spontaneously. If I was to pre-plan what I was going to say, write it down, the usual intellectual thing, then it wouldn't be fresh. So, fundamental Christianity, what is it? Well, it shouldn't have a name. It should just be living life. You see, animals have a kind of a life, don't they? They have a life. It's a mechanical existence. It's very clever and very complex, but understandable with science. But nevertheless, it's mechanical. The universe is mechanical, but it's fantastic. But there's a life that is spontaneous. And life that is spontaneous comes from God. Because it's a flow. It's a flow from within to without. From the inside to the outside. It's a flow. And that life is really the only life that's worth a hill of beans for a human being. Because any other life is simply reacting. Reacting just as animals do. And it's mechanical. So you have people walking around reacting to everything in a mechanical sort of a way. And there's no life in it. Yeah, there's a kind of a life of protoplasm, of energy exchange, of chemical exchange. But the life of the spirit is not there. And that's what you needed to see in your parents. You needed to see it in your dad. You needed to see that so that you would know unmistakably that it exists. And in that is true hope. See, any hope that we pin on some temporary thing, an award, a vacation, some goal, it's only temporary, and to achieve it requires more of this mechanical stuff that I talked about. But the life of that is animated by something more than just the mechanical is a life that comes from God. It's a creative life. So how do you find that? Well, you can't find it in a book. You can't find it in another person. You can't find it anywhere but from God Himself. And it's a gift. It's a gift from God. Now, how to find it? Because most people don't have it. So we're talking about the life from God. And the only way to find it is from Him. And there has to be some kind of a relationship or rapport for it to occur. Paul talked about, in one passage in the Bible, he talked about the gospel of grace. Gospel of grace. In other words, the good news about the grace of God. And that is indeed what we all need. The grace of God. God's grace is a gift to human beings. But we can not receive it. And we don't receive it when we're full of the world. See, the world will fill you up with all kinds of entertainment and distraction and problems and issues and knowledge. And the world is always there to get you to pursue something out there. It uses various tricks to get you to pursue something out there. It promises you something. Then you go for it to get the promise, which it rarely delivers on. Or it takes away something from you, and then you want to pursue, you want to get it back. It robs you of something, and so you want to get it back. But of course, once it has complete control over you, like you look at some of the terrible communist countries, once it has complete control over you, or dictatorships around the world, then it withholds everything and doesn't give you anything. Then it even takes away your goals, takes away any hope. See? So, it's an immensely cruel system. You can prove that good exists by seeing that evil exists. You may not see good in people, but you see evil. The system's so cruel that it robs you of things and then gives you nothing and offers no hope. So you will totally despair, and it seems to enjoy that. It seems to enjoy creating conditions of famine and war and rape and pillage and murder and mayhem. You've always seen that throughout history, haven't you? It seems to enjoy that sort of thing. Now, what's that all about? Well, it's a dog-eat-dog system. It's a dog-eat-dog system that's far worse than nature. Because nature is simply mechanical. One animal eats another one for food, for energy. And it's a simple thing like that. But in human society, you have cruelty, violence, terrible things happening for no purpose other than to destroy and to cause pain and despair. That's what it seems to enjoy doing. And the cruelest of all, maybe, is the one where you see some of these communist countries, for example. The people can see what the government is up to. They see it. They see the arbitrariness. They see the loss of freedom. They see the cruelty. So they know what they're dealing with. They may not be able to do anything about it. They may not even be able to talk about it, openly, but they see it. They know what's going on. But perhaps worse is when you think you have something that's nice and that loves you and is benevolent to you, but in fact it's immensely cruel. It offers you what appears to be kindness, and it offers you something that seems to have substance, but it has no substance. It's what they offer you is tinsel and shallow and empty, phony. I was walking through the store this morning, and I looked at everything there, and I saw that it was all junk, for the most part. Plastic, artificial, poorly made, throwaway stuff. It's all junk, useless stuff. Not only useless, but poorly made. And you just buy and buy all this stuff, and there's nothing there. And it's not going to last. But the only good things they had there was tools. They had some tools. Well, if it's a well-made tool, it can last a long time and can be useful. But most of the stuff was either junk, or it was junk and useless. So, why is it that all around you there's no love? There's no love. Things are phony. Things are empty. Things are shallow. Why is that? And there's no love. There's cruelty. See? But the people who are being cruel, sometimes they don't know they're being cruel. Yeah, the leaders of some communist country, they know they're being cruel. They know it. They know very well what they're doing. But the average person is cruel, thoughtless, discourteous, selfish. They don't even realize it. Now why? Why is it? Well, maybe this will be of some help to you. Remember Christ upon the cross. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He saw that they didn't know what they were doing. So, if a person has no substance, then how can they give you substance if they have none? If they do not have love, if they have not received love, they don't know where to find love, then they can't give you love because they don't have any love. If a person has just been given shallow things, empty things, then that's all they can give you. So perhaps it will be helpful to you to see that, if you see it, because then you can forgive them and not hate them. See, the biggest robbery of all is not all the cruelty and mayhem and shallowness and hypocrisy. Do you see that people who are hypocrites, who are shallow, can you see that they're empty? Was it T.S. Eliot that wrote about the hollow men? If somebody doesn't have something, they can't give it to you. So you can't hate them for their not giving it to you because they don't have it. Do you understand? If they don't have love, if they don't have understanding, if they don't have wisdom, if they don't have character, if they don't have courage, if they don't have any of those, they can't give you what they don't have. If they have nothing of substance, see? So, take, for example, your teachers, your professors. They have some knowledge. They have some theory, some of it right, some of it not right. But it's just intellectual verbiage. There's no life in it. Christ said, my words have life in them. There's no life in them. That's all they can give you because that's all they have themselves. They themselves are empty. So they eat. Have you noticed how people if you eat nothing but the kind of fare that you find in a lot of the stuff you find in stores nowadays, or at a fast food restaurant or something, it's been stripped. It's been stripped of, of the goodness. It's been taken out. And because it's been taken out, you eat and eat, and your body still craves some nutrient which it's not getting. And so you eat more and more. You could eat so much that you become obese and still not be getting the nutrients that you need because it's not there. It's been taken out. Now, why has it been taken out? Well, remember I said, if you don't have it, you can't give it. But you say, well, they do have it, but they take it out. They have something with goodness in it, and they take the goodness out. What do they do that for? Because all they're doing is doing what has been done to them. All they're doing is doing what has been done to them. Everything that they've been given has been stripped of value. They haven't gotten real love. They haven't gotten real love. It's been done to them. And that's all they know, is a life of being fed a lie, of being given shallow goals, of being made promises that turn out to be lies, or given things that turn out to be not what they were cracked up to be. See, whether it's empty words, whether it's treatments, whether it's food, degrees, education. See what I mean? Pretend love. People say flowery words to you, and then later you find out they didn't love you at all. All they had was betrayal. But what I want you to see is that there's two things involved. The one I think you already understand, and that is that, because I delved into it very deeply, and that is that if they don't have it, they can't give it. There was a lady once, I never forget, she listened to my program a long time ago. This was like 25 years ago. She was listening to my program in San Francisco, and she wanted to talk to me, and so we talked. She admitted that she resented her husband. She admitted he was a decent guy, but she resented him. And then we talked, but I said something that she got. I said, he doesn't have love. He himself does not have love. No one loved him. He hasn't found love. He hasn't found his creator. He doesn't have a source of love, so he himself is empty. He himself feels loveless inside because he doesn't have love. And so therefore he cannot give what he doesn't have. And when she heard that, it was like an aha moment for her. And I think it permitted her to forgive him because she saw that he couldn't give her what he didn't have. Because he didn't have it himself. He was hurting inside too, you see what I mean? So that's the one aspect. And then the other aspect is that none of us have seen love. And so therefore, we've been robbed. In a sense, we've been robbed. We feel robbed. We feel cheated. That's why a lot of kids, most kids maybe, they have something against their dad. They say he wasn't there for them. Even though he was a decent guy, he wasn't there for them. They felt like he was withholding something, but he didn't have it. Can you understand? He wasn't withholding because he didn't have it. All he had was compensation, which is the shallow substitute. So we feel like we've been robbed. Denied love. And we were denied love, but they didn't have it to give. You have to see that. And if you can see that, you're not going to find it in the world. Everyone has been denied love. Everyone. There's no love out there. But there is love, but it's from your Creator. So you have to look to Him. See, they took it from you in the world, and then you wanted to get it back. And it was taken to you by away from you by people. It's always people, isn't it? Your dad failed you, your mom yelled at you, some boyfriend took advantage of you, other people lied to you, they denied you love, and so you're looking for it out there. And it was taken from you by people, and so you look to people to get it back. You want them to make good on their promises. But that's the mistake. That's the mistake. That's the trick. Don't look for it out there anymore. And the secret is don't resent them. See that they don't have love. See that it was done to them. And then just kind of make them unimportant. No longer fixate on people with hatred, with resentment, with grudges, with desires. What if they give you, if that some boyfriend gives you his brand of love, is that going to satisfy you? Is that good for your soul? No. Just more of the same shallow animal love or words. But your problem is you always resent it. Now just see that it's just not there. If I go into the store, I'm not going to tame it. But if I go into the store looking for something that's really, really solidly well made of natural good materials, handcrafted and made to last for generations, I'm not going to find it because it's not there. I'm not going to resent the store for not having it because it's just they don't have it. And the manager, it didn't come in on the trucks, and the workers, it didn't come in, so they don't have it. So now that's the one aspect of it. I gave you the secret. Stop looking for love out there. And the way you'll stop looking is stop resenting. Because the more you resent, the more empty you feel. And when you feel empty, you want to fill that emptiness. And the only thing you know is to fill it from the outside. So you're going to get substitutes, which they give you. They'll give you food, sugary drinks, marijuana, food, promises, shallow words, goals, music, empty nothing. See? So don't look for it anymore. And the way you'll not look for it is if you stop resenting. Just stop resenting. And then you can go through life not so fixated to people, not looking for something. See, they see you looking for them. They see your need, so then they offer you some shallow thing and you go for it because you're so needy. Or they see your need and they stay away from you because your neediness scares them away. Or they see your need and out of cruelty they deny you. See, there's just all these different tricks. But remember now, here's the other part. I want you to see it was done to them. I wish I could think of a good example. But I just can't not think of a good example. The only example I can see is if you see some kid and he's yelling at some other kid or pushing some other kid around or bullying some other kid or something like that. He's angry. Something was done to him. So his mom yelled at him. His dad yelled at him. Or his mom yelled at him and his dad just sat there and said nothing. Let her yell at him, push him around. He became angry. Then he goes and takes it out on others. He yells at others like he was yelled at. Another example would be if you resent, let's say, and your resentment makes you have negative thoughts and makes you angry. And then your anger through your bloodstream, through your hormones and your nerves, makes your muscles tense. And when your muscles are tense, then the muscle cells have to contract. They were made to feel the tenseness was handed down, and then they just did what they received. Do you see what I mean? The orders they received. So the average person is cheated and lied to and denied love and fooled and given shallow words and told that something is great when it's really not great, and misled. And see, that's all they have. And they've never known love. And they can't give love because they don't have it. Plus, they don't want to love because they want to love. They don't want to love people who are what did it to them. See, eventually in life, enough people. Your dad failed you. Your mom did the best she could, but she failed you somehow too. Boyfriends failed you. Girlfriends failed you. Bosses failed you. Teachers failed you. The system failed you. Then you had issues, and then you went to experts, and they failed you, and so on and so forth. Everybody failed you all along the way. They led you along and gave you lies and patted you on the back and gave you some placebo things. Or they gave you something powerful that then caused more damage than had you not even used it in the first place. But all along the line, you were abused and betrayed and fooled and tricked and lied to and all that kind of stuff. And so now you hate people. You don't want to give them love because it's people that did it to you. So you hate men. Eventually you hate all men, or you hate all women, or you hate all people. See? You deny them love. You say, look at her, look at him, look at them, and you hate them. Then you deny them love. You give them a dirty look, or you walk by them and ignore them, or you pretend to be nice to them, but underneath you secretly hate them. You see what I mean? All these things, you're denying them love too, but you don't have love. All you have is hate. Can you understand? So there has to be love. There has to be something new that enters in. An enzyme, a catalyst, a new substance. Was it Paul that said, who was it that said that faith is the substance? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Something like that. Substance. Something new. Real must enter. Something alive. A flame. An eternal flame. It's always there. You always see the eternal flame that never goes out. Now you know that there's something good. There's something alive. There's something that has love. So you have to experience God's forgiveness. You do. You have to experience it so that you know. And you must to experience His graciousness and His kindness. Then you will know that it exists. Then you can begin to become like Him. His gracious gifts to you. And then you begin to you gravitate toward Him. And then you begin to learn intuitively how to be a real human being. And from God's inner presence, it's like photosynthesis. The plant absorbs sunlight, the warmth and light of the sun, and somehow uses it to grow and then to make beautiful roses, beautiful flowers, and seeds. See? And fruit. Wonderful things. Those came from the sunlight. So when you see a beautiful rose or a beautiful fruit, it's a creation of the light with the help. Not the help, but the instrument of translation was the plant. Well, the soul is also an instrument of translation. You close your eyes. If you're sitting quietly in your room now, of course, if you're driving, you don't want to do this. If you're sitting quietly in your room or in your office in a chair, you close your eyes. Look at the inside of your eyelids and you see the little pixels of light, little particles of light. You see light. delicate light. That's spiritual light from God. And that light contains the substance that your soul can use to translate that light into substance, character, dignity, honor, love, patience. Like that eternal flame, you have eternal patience. You stop hating people, and you become a real human being, dependent on. Instead of now you're dependent on the outside, and the more they take from you, the more dependent you become. Or the more they give you, the more dependent you become. One way or the other, see? Why not become dependent on God? That's why the meditation is the key, the simple meditation. Not any meditation with goofy postures and chanting and imagination. No images. There's a very nice man, Father Thomas Dubé. Very nice man. He's passed away now, but he wrote some books about Christian mysticism, about prayer and about contemplation. And he studied the lives of and talked about people like St. John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila. But anyway, he was talking about contemplation. And he said, no images, no concepts. No images, no concepts. See? No rituals. Nothing of the hand of man. Look, haven't you had enough of the hand of man? All the lies and the deceit and the small print and the putting you on, and taking advantage and not giving you what was promised, or giving you what they promised, but then you find out it's a sham, and the empty words and the false apologies and haven't you had enough of the hand of man? Now, the hand of God. So the meditation must be simple. All you need to do is refine that inner light, which you already have. Close your eyes, there it is. And just learn how to relate to it. Learn to relate to that inner light, and then grow in that light, and express that light, and love that light, and yearn for that light. And life will be good. And life will be